So we're finally here, the very last buying Decred video for this series. Let me apologise, I know it's been a bit of a kind of repetitive mission. The whole point of this process was just to try and teach people how to buy Decred and to try and inform them of how to not lose so much money. And I mean, we've all been there. If you're starting out buying cryptocurrencies, the whole process of going through the exchanges, you just end up losing so much money, and you get so deflated about it. And I think this is where the education has to happen. I think we have to make inroads to kind of getting the consumer into this position. So well done for sticking with it if you got this far. We're just going to finish up with looking at DEXs and swaps. So this process is kind of assuming that you've gone through and you've got some cryptocurrencies that you can swap, and then you can start making swaps. And in actual fact, there's some good money to be made in swaps when done right. And when the DCR DEX comes out, there's going to be some really good opportunities there. So let's just have a little look. So once again, this is a bit of an experiment. So when it comes to the DEX exchanges, at the moment I'm basing the losses on what we had for BCH. Because the Decred DEX won't have any fees, it will have that initial registration fee, which I suspect is going to be something like 0.1 Decred, which is currently about £1.20. But once you've paid that registration fee, that's it. You can trade as much as you want, which is kind of the way it should be. This is a really big deal. There's no one else in this space doing this, and trust me, I've kind of looked at everything, because I'm a true advocate that if I want to swap, value with somebody, I want to do it in a streamless person. I don't want someone sat in the middle of my exchanges, and it's really hard to do that without an exchange where you establish this trust. So having an exchange that is kind of going to do the right thing, that's a massive thing as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just basing these losses roughly at 0.2% to 0.5 based on that initial BCH Bitcoin Cash on ramp from pounds to BCH. So in order to do a swap, or in order to do a DEX transaction, it's all about the wallets. So yes, you will need to get your some kind of cryptocurrency in the first place, but after that, if it's done right, it will just all be about the wallets. Okay, so we'll look at the same processes. So you will initially need that Coinbase and Coinbase Pro account. And for that account, you're going to have to do your KYC. There's very little we can do about that. But from that point onwards, we can do do your limit order from pounds to BCH. And then from that point onwards, we can just do transfers from wallets. Now, it's important to say that the Coinbase exchange wallet probably won't work with DEX process, because they have to be a very specific kind of wallet. So you're probably better off once this documentation is published, hopefully we'll see which wallets are going to work with this. We obviously know that the Decred wallet will work with this, but the rest is we'll have to wait and see. So when we're on the DEX, we're just going from wallet to wallet, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, once again, you are going to need the same account. So you will need a Coinbase account, you will need a DEX account, you'll need a Decred wallet, and you'll need some other coin wallets depending on the cryptocurrency you want to exchange. And then for the Coinbase account, you will need your KYC information: full name, date of birth, email address, home address, driver's license, and credit card. Same as in all the other videos. But once you've got those coins, we can take them off the main exchanges, and then hopefully we want to get into this process where we're just trading from peer to peer, using the exchange for just that, with none of these extra fees, with none of these kind of problems where the exchange holds your money. With the DEX wallet, you're going to hold your money in your own account, which is going to make it, it's going to be awesome. Just showing you the Coinbase Pro account there, just like in the last video. If you missed this one, obviously you can watch the exchanging with Coinbase Pro using a limit order for BCH video. And currently this is the best one we have. So the swaps, there's a few good swaps. Now on CoinMarketCap, you can actually calculate all of the swaps. So you can calculate what it would cost you to go from a Dash into a Decred. So the current one here that we have, if you go from Dash to Decred, one Dash is going to cost you 5.4. Now I quite like these conversions because you'll notice throughout the year, it will go from between one Dash will be £7 7 Decred, and it can go down as far as 4 Decred. So there's opportunities there for swap in between. So when it gets down to 4, you can obviously swap into Dash, and when it gets up to 7, you can obviously swap from Dash into Decred. And there's you're making a little bit of money there. It's actually not a bad swap. Now, what I foresee when the DEX comes around, and you can do this properly without having like the Changelly fees, or the simple swap fees, you can actually do this and you'll actually make a little bit more profit. Hopefully that would be the key there. Now, these are just simple swaps that we're going to look at first. So we have two that I've seen. Now, simple swap was a new one for Decred, so I've just added that, but the one that I've used in the past and quite frequently was Changelly. It doesn't give you too bad an exchange, and it does make the whole process simpler. And if you want to go from Dash into Decred, the process is relatively simple. Now, if you look at the exchange here from Dash to Decred, you'll notice that the actual losses are actually quite small compared to what Changelly was like when you were doing direct from British pounds into Decred, which was like £15, which was absolutely ridiculous. When they come to swaps, the swaps are a lot cheaper. Now, the good thing about Changelly and Simple Swap is that they don't require any KYC, so you don't have to give them any detail other than your addresses. Now, what happens is you give them your first address and you send your money into one of their kind of a smart exchange, I suppose it is, before it goes off into your next wallet, and it's really quite clever. So you never have to give them your private keys, which is really quite useful. So just to run down this one here. So CoinMarketCap was saying we should be getting 5.4224, and then Changelly said we'll get 5.4178. So that's it's not even 50p, it's like 40p or something like that. Whereas Simple Swap was not quite as good, so they were going to lose 0.1 Decred doing it that way. And don't forget, both of these will have a slippage of something like 1.4. And whenever I've done it with Changelly, I never do better. I pretty much always, there's always some slippage there. I never get what they're promising me here. This is kind of like your best result if it happens, but more often than not it will be slightly lower than that, so just keep that in mind. So Changelly losses per 100 is approximately between 52p to £1.96, which is actually, it's not too bad. So if you get the best exchange, you're actually going to be below that sweet spot of 1%, which is quite nice. And then the losses for Simple Swap on £100 was between 1.18 and 2.662, so it's not quite as good actually. I think Simple Swap is going to struggle to kind of catch Changelly on that one. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I mean, you should always compare to see which one's giving you the best swaps as well, if you're going from random cryptocurrencies. Now, Changelly will swap pretty much any currency. So if you're going from Stellar, or if you're going from Tron, or some random crypto, and you want to get into Decred, you can actually do that here. So I mean, that's quite useful without having to kind of work out 3 or 4 different ways of getting into Decred. Changelly will make it so that you can do it almost instantly. So the final slide, looking at trading on the DEX. Now, this is in alpha at the moment, so the DCR DEX, or the Decred DEX, it's not been fully built. It's being worked on. They're expecting it to come out within the next couple of months for kind of more advanced testing. Really and truly, it's probably going to be the beginning of 2021 that we start seeing it really ramping up and starting getting some liquidity on there. But it holds such great promise. Now, like I've said before, this is the one and only DEX that I've seen where the proposal actually is trying to do the best for the user. Now, the reason this has happened, and if you're following the story, is because there's no kind of investors in this DEX. Whereas you see a lot of other DEXs or a lot of other exchanges, they've got their investors, and their investors want profits, and in order to get profits they have to kind of charge these fees, and that's how they do it. But with the DEX, it's been paid for in full by the Decred users. Another thing that a lot of people aren't going to understand straight away is this is actually not just for Decred. This can be installed on every single blockchain that accepts atomic swaps. So this is kind of a selfless act by the Decred community, if you like, where they're actually saying, look, come and use our stuff. We want this space to be better. Decred DEX is where that's going to happen, but it's not just for Decred. You can use this, you can contribute to the code, you can patch in your own things, and eventually anybody is going to be able to run a server, and that server will be able to use the main order book, which is absolutely amazing. You couldn't imagine this from any other DEX, where I could go onto Shapeshift and I could run up my own server, and I could start trading as if I'm the exchange, but using the big order book. That's massive. And the only place that fees will be taken for this, and this is going to be built in, is that registration, that one-off registration fee. Now I expect, we'll get more details on this as time passes, but I suspect that the Decred website will show a bunch of places where you can get onto the DEX and start trading. Initially, I believe it will only be run through one place, but eventually it will be meshed out, and it will be run by lots of different people from lots of different cryptocurrencies and so on. This is what I understand so far. So it will make exchanging a lot better. You won't have these exchange fees. Another thing that a lot of people don't understand is it's going to run slightly different. Now, if you've ever read the works of Michael Lewis in Flash Boys, where he talks about getting front run and kind of some behind the scenes things happening where milliseconds of time go by, but your trade has already passed through several different people. Well, the Decred DEX is also looking at solving that as well, where you're not going to get high frequency traders ruling the roost. They're using this time lock thing called an epoch I think it is, where it literally locks it in there. They're expecting it to be a 10-second slot, but all the trades get locked into this 10-second slot, and then they get executed, which is absolutely amazing. So you get none of this front running, you get none of these high frequency trading algorithms kind of bolstering up the kind of action. What you see is what you get. It's got these huge potentials, and with that, obviously the fees will come right down. The one thing I would definitely say about using a DEX is kind of we have to get everyone involved, because everyone cares about this liquidity, but the only way you're going to get liquidity is if we actually use this stuff. And more about this is going to come on soon. So that's what we've got for the DEX at the moment. As you can see, read into it. The proposal is on Politeia. You should read into it. It's absolutely amazing what they're trying to do and what they're achieving, because they've already run a few of these tests. What they're achieving is absolutely outstanding. I have such a lot of praise for what these guys are doing, and it's genuinely really nice to see a cryptocurrency trying to do the right thing. I've been in this space, over a year, but I've been watching it for 5-6 years. But it was hard to get in, because you can see the scams happening. And when you're an outsider or even insider, you're kind of like, oh God, what is going on there? That's not right. Or this person's just trying to take all my money or whatever. But when you read into Decred, you just think, no, these guys are legit. They are fantastic, and if you're interested in investing in Decred, go onto their website. Go onto Discord and actually talk to some of the developers. They're amazing. They just talk to you. So I hope you find that useful. Can't sing the praises for these guys enough. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to hear from you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.